All right. What is up, YouTube? Welcome to our very first live stream. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me, it's very excited tonight. I don't know why I get excited because I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm excited tonight. I hope you are as well. We're gonna watch the NBA draft tonight. We're gonna get live reactions. We're gonna be discussing everything that happens in this draft tonight. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. But at the end of the day, we having some problems. How are we sounding and looking? We sounding okay? Let me know if we're sounding. All right. Thank you, Jars Haslam. Yes. Jared is not in on Obi Toppin. All right. So here's the thing on Obi Toppin, right? If you asked me a week ago, you asked me today what my thoughts on Obi were. I didn't want him. I don't think his upside is great. I think he fits a team that is ready to win sooner rather than later. So honestly, if you're Golden State, I don't think that's a bad shout to take Obi Toppin over Wiseman if you're trying to win soon with Steph, or unless you're trying to flip that pick, you would just get rid of it. But Toppin for me isn't the guy I would want for the Knicks. The Knicks got to go for a home run pick until they get one. I mean, I still think Barrett is a home run. I think Robinson is like a solid triple, good double at the very least. But uh, they need to hit big on a pick. So I don't think Toppin is the guy to hit a home run with. Uh, But if they do trade up to take Obi Toppin, I'm not going to flip out. I've seen this before. And what I have seen and what I do trust in Leon Rose in the new regime, I don't think Leon Rose is this big basketball expert. I don't think he claims to be that. But what I do think he is very well connected. And he knows people who are very in the know in the NBA. And I think Toppin seems to be unanimously popping up in a lot of teams' wish lists in the top 5. So whether I think he's the best player in the world or not, I'm not a professional scout. I'm going to go with what Leon Rose is hearing and what the Knicks are employing. And everyone always says, "How can you trust the Knicks?" And I mean, you could be a pessimist and just say they're going to suck forever, but I'm not. That's not being a fan of the team. Like at the end of the day, like I still want them to perform well. I'm still giving guys shots, especially new regimes. Like this isn't the 10th year of Isaiah Thomas or something here. We got a new GM, new president. Not new GM. We still got Scott Perry, but we got a new president and Leon Rose. So let's give it some time. I would like Tyrese Halliburton. Jartasm asking about Killian Hayes. I'm not in on Killian Hayes, but I do think I think he's more of a project. He's going to be a better offensive player than if you're comparing him directly to the last French point guard that Knicks took, Frank Ntilikina. But I wouldn't take. I mean, he's the guy you need to take if you're willing to let him wait and willing to give him some minutes off the bench. If he were to come to the Knicks right now, which this is the problem with the Knicks. Like if the Knicks go 2-12 the first right away, everything's a failure. Leon Rose is a failure. Every player like that's just the way the perception is. If he goes to Atlanta and you give Killian Hayes a full season to stink, but put up numbers and learn through losing and stuff like that, and no one's on his ass every 2 minutes, I think he'll be a good player down the road. But it's all about your fit and where you fit. And I don't think adding another French point guard that you're just going to be out there and be like, go win us games right away. It's not going to work. So I would stay away from him. The pressure would be too high. But he could be a good player. I mean, he's definitely an offensive threat. He's left-handed. He could shoot it. It looks like. I don't claim to know. That's the thing. I'm done claiming to because I watched a bunch of YouTube highlights. I'm Mr. Euroball. Like that's not true. I'm done doing that. And I hate when people do that randomly. Why? Because you watched a couple more YouTube videos. You know more about the player. No, you're always going to see the best moments of that guy on YouTube. You're never going to see his weaknesses unless you're watching full game tape. And then at that point, you're a professional. Unless you're watching full game tape, which I don't think many people are, to be honest. They're skimming for the good stuff. So for Hayes, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I think he could be a good player. He definitely has more offensive skills right now than what we saw from Frank when the Knicks took him a few years ago. But I mean, Frank is a different, like a way better athlete than Killian Hayes, way better athlete. And my question is, 3 years from now, yeah, we definitely got to. But We definitely got to get a better background. But first stream, we're working it out. Impromptu stream tonight. Said why not? Too excited. Knicks have 2 picks. Why not? Cheers, by the way. Hope you guys are enjoying the NBA draft like I am. Off today and tomorrow. Why not enjoy it? Got to work the weekend, so enjoying some good NBA draft work in the middle of the week. But we're just looking at LaMelo Ball here. He's literally got a huge pair of Beats on with his parents sitting right next to him on national TV. Who is he? What do you think he's doing? He's getting hyped for the draft. You think, or you think he's listening to Lonzo's mixtape? Maybe. Anthony Edwards got it set up. I think that's probably pictures of loved ones that aren't with him at the moment next to him. So that's a normal family setup. He doesn't have huge headphones on next to his 2 loved ones, though. I'll tell you that. I mean, there's so many character flags obvious that I don't need to point out about LaMelo Ball. I kind of hope that he's really good at basketball, just so the conversation, is legitimate of him being like, oh, is he that much of a tool and also that good? Because then that becomes kind of like a fun heel in the NBA. I like that. I like that. But just the character flaws of him, just obvious, that are just glaring. I would not touch LaMelo Ball with a 10-foot pole if I had a top 3 pick. If he falls outside the top 6, if he falls to the Knicks at 8, I'm looking at him. I am. I'm sorry to say, if Halliburton isn't there, I'm looking at LaMelo Ball. Halliburton is the guy I want. I think a lot of Knicks fans I spoke to like him as well. Absolutely with that. Like him, I think he would do a lot of good things for this team. And this team would be really athletic all over the place, really long and fast. So I would look forward to, if they could get Halliburton, that would be my number 1 choice. But if LaMelo Ball were to fall to the 8th pick, that would be something else. I would be really excited about that. Let me share this. Let me share this link now. I don't know if I already did or not, but let's do it again. Why not? Who do you guys want the Knicks to take? Who do you guys want your team to take? Let's see. Nick says, I think Melo is the best. He'll be a major box office in the NBA and bring star power to the Garden if he lands there. I'm all for it. I'm all for it at 8. I think that's smart drafting, good value. I don't want to be like, oh, all of our chips are in on LaMelo Ball, because I just think there's too much risk there. For a team like the Knicks, that's too much risk. I like it. I like the idea of it all working. I think it will work if it's there at 8 and it happens organically. But I do not want the Knicks pushing all chips in on LaMelo Ball, because then once you do that, it all goes to his head, number 1, which I don't think we need to do that. I think he needs as much humbleness as he could possibly have, which I think is very little at this point. And that's why I'm kind of interested to see him play. I'm not pretending to be a LaMelo Ball expert either, because the guy played in Australia more than he played in America the last 2 years. So I can watch Chino Hill's highlights where he's shooting from half court line, but to me that doesn't look like real basketball. So, I mean, I know guys have range like that in the NBA, but if you watch him, he's not even getting over the half court line, shooting up threes, like absurd stuff. But I'm with you, Nick. Though, if he falls to 8, I'm not mad at LaMelo. Here we go. Silver walking to the podium. T-Wolves first pick. Everyone's got Edwards here, right? Let's do this throughout the night. Let me know your picks. I'm watching on a stream, so I'm gonna be a little bit behind, but just let me know what you think of the pick. All right, it's Edwards, like we thought. I mean, did everyone read that? Did everyone read that article about him? Was that true, that he just basically was like unable to discuss whether he like actually enjoyed playing basketball or not? Like that. Usually that's what people like classic scouts will say is a red flag. Yeah, he's not really into playing basketball. What? That's a red flag. I'm not taking a guy like that, but clearly the T-Wolves and all their excellence are saying that doesn't matter to us. This guy is a stud. Which, to me, I'm not mad at it. Why not? They got Towns already, so they can't really take Wiseman. It's not really a good fit. How silly is that, though, Nick? What do you think about that? Like, he's going to play – you think he's actually going to play football over the NBA? He just got drafted number 1 overall in the NBA. He doesn't like it? Maybe start to like it, dude. He's young though. We'll see. I like him as a prospect, but I don't know. I didn't like that article breaking today. That reminded me a lot of Laramie Tunsil with the gas mask the night of the NFL draft. Love me some Reese Davis doing the NBA draft though. That's the guy who should be doing it. Let's be real. Covers the most college hoops for ESPN at least. But yeah, what do we think with the second pick? We got Golden State here. We know about the Clay injury now, right? So it looks like it's bad for news for Clay. At least that's what Golden State is telling us, right? Bad news for Clay Thompson. So we'll see. I think it's going to be Wiseman here. I don't think anything, any funny business. We're going to have to stay on Twitter tonight too. Share the stream, by the way, guys. Don't I don't even if you're shy to retweet it or whatever. Send it to your friends or whatever. Why not? If they're watching a draft. But I think it's going to be Wiseman next. That's what everyone seems to think. The guy I would honestly cough up a lung if the Knicks drafted is the dude from Israel. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to mess up his name. What is it, Denny Avija? If I said it wrong, I apologize to all the Avijas that are watching my stream. I highly doubt the Avijas are paying attention to Mikey hot takes right now. But if the Knicks were to take him, I would blow a gasket. I think I would freak out. You gotta clean the glasses. The glasses are getting fogged up. It's warm in the bedroom. Impromptu draft stream. Everyone just deal with the setting. We're gonna get the production value is gonna go up, people. Just gotta take our time. Yeah, I mean, these guys are so young, these kids, and they're growing up. Yeah, Justin, I'm with you. Wiseman here. Can't consider Clay injury. I agree. It didn't matter. I was just thinking maybe even like if they wanted to trade down possibly a couple picks, if somebody really wanted somebody at the second pick, Golden State we might want a couple of picks in this draft because I don't think this draft is like I don't know. This draft doesn't do it for me, and I'm a big NBA draft guy. Like the players themselves don't do it for me. There's a lot of action on the side that's why the intrigue is the big moves. Like Al Horford getting moved right before the draft, which is very interesting because now Philadelphia has a lot of cap space right away. So there's a lot of questions there. That instantly when I heard James Harden wanted out, I'm sorry, Brooklyn fans. You know I have hate. You know I have the vendetta. If you've been following me on Twitter. You know I'm a Brooklyn Nets. I would call myself a hater. Why not? I am a hater of the Brooklyn Nets because there's too many Net fans popping out of the woodwork now, acting like they've been around, saying Brooklyn is New York's city. No. Let's relax there. All right. All you did was win a free agency. You haven't won any games of any recognizable note. All right. You made the playoffs and get dusted. That is not an achievement. That is not an achievement. Don't give me, oh, you barely made the playoffs. All right, that's cool. You're marginally better than the Knicks. That does not achieve anything. That does not achieve anything. You do not want to be comparing yourself to the Knicks in the first place, but it's never going to be the Brooklyn Nets city. Okay? So I'm sorry for that, but Philly clearing that cap space, to me, that's the layup move for Harden. But the problem is Daryl Morey just was fired by Houston. And now he's Philadelphia's GM or president of basketball operations, whatever. He's calling the shots in Philly now. So imagine Daryl Morey brokering the James Harden move to Philly with his former employer that just fired him. I can't see that happening. That's as awkward as a business move as you could ever imagine. James Harden just turned down $50 million a year to shoot a basketball. Imagine that in the first place. And then his former boss gets fired, goes to another city, and then has to broker that deal to get him into Philadelphia. Honestly, it's the one that makes the most sense. Jared, if James Harden goes to Brooklyn, what happens? They win the championship. I think they'll win the championship. That's absolutely great. But guess what? That doesn't make it that does not make New York City. That does not make New York their city whatsoever. If I open up a cell phone shop across the street from Apple for a week and I outsell them for a week, am I a bigger store than Apple? Relax. Brooklyn is a startup company. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the diehard fans I know. I truly believe that. There are diehard fans out there that I know. But there ain't a lot, is what I'm telling you. There ain't a lot. And even them, I'm happy for you. I am. But don't start saying crazy things like New York is your city, blah, blah. Just enjoy your team. Be happy with the results. Enjoy the organizational moves. I can see the Brooklyn Nets like at peak, if they really went on a dynasty run, and I'm talking past James Harden, Durant, and Kyrie era, because we know that's going to last, what, 2 years max? If they win 2 championships, even if they win one, it could be that many years. I wouldn't – this is a short-term solution with these 3 guys right now. So if you were to get James Harden, you would I would say you would win the ship this year if everyone were to stay healthy. Absolutely. I'm not a hater. I would think that 3, honestly, Harden and Durant to me should win a title. Those 2 on the same team should win a title. But that doesn't make it your city. That's all I'm saying. That's where my hate comes from. As long as we don't hear that and I don't hear that, I won't pop off. I'll try to calm down. There's no hate for Brooklyn. James Harden is my favorite player. Do I want him going to the Brooklyn Nets? Absolutely not. I do not want him going to the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are in the Knicks division, and honestly, I never understood the intrigue of going to Brooklyn in the first place. I never did. But let's talk about the draft, because the pick is in here for Golden State. I think it's going to be Wiseman. Wiseman reminds me of like Chris Bosh. I don't know if anyone's seen that. I purposely not watched any draft coverage. I've watched tons of college basketball. I've done some YouTube search. So if the guy played in college whatsoever, I've seen him. If the guy's played in high school and is going to be a lottery pick from overseas, I've watched a little bit on him. But I'm not going to claim to be an expert on either of those. Justin, yeah. You don't watch sports. You're right. I'm actually watching an episode of Seinfeld right now and just making up the draft off the top of my head. There's Wiseman. No, most normal setup so far goes to James Wiseman. We're going to judge the setup as well. Most normal, chill setup goes to James Wiseman. Penny Hardaway and his college coach. Yeah, right. What were they together in Memphis for like 2 weeks before Wiseman had to withdraw at Memphis? Crazy year he had. He could barely play. Oh, he played for Penny in high school too. Okay, so that's his boy. Yeah, there was no tampering there, right? Penny Hardaway was his high school coach. Then he gets hired at Memphis. Then James Wiseman comes in the same year. Absolutely unreal. Like walking into an NCAA weird sanction they were from the jump. Wiseman's going to be a beast with I mean, it's such a good fit whoever they take, to be honest. Besides LaMelo, I think anybody they took would have prospered. Let's be honest. Justin, can you get an apartment tour? You'll get one soon. Stay subscribed. Right now we're stationary because we're watching a draft. We're on the laptop. We're going to improve the setup as well. I don't have this, the fancy software you need to properly make this look proper yet, but we'll get there. Yeah, Wiseman. See, he looks like a humble dude. I would have taken. Somebody asked me. Shout out to Ray. Ray asked me before. Who would I take number 1 if I was the Knicks, and I would have taken Wiseman. I think he's the best prospect in this draft. I like him a lot. He could shoot it. He's athletic. I feel like he could play the 4 a little bit. I'm a fan of Wiseman. Who we got next? Charlotte. I think Charlotte might take Obi Toppin here. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte took Obi Toppin at 3. That's my bet. I haven't, like I said, I've looked at minimal stuff. I've obviously looked at a few mocks to see where the value is, and everyone thinks everyone's going with the people in the know. It's LaMelo time for Charlotte. Is that not just an absolute nightmare, Michael Jordan and LaMelo Ball? I just don't see that working. That's like Mr. competitiveness and Mr. like 90s basketball against Mr. Millennial basketball in LaMelo Ball. Mr. like I'm like looking at my phone while I'm playing AAU LaMelo Ball against playing for Michael Jordan. I'm pretty sure I watched some footage and LaMelo Ball was looking at his cell phone during a game. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it was there. MJ versus LeVar would be fire. In a game to 100, how many points does LeVar score against Michael Jordan? Someone tell me right now. Obviously not peak Michael Jordan. Don't be silly. Probably. Does he get any? Yeah, he gets 0. You're right. I was with you. I was thinking 0 as well. Okoro from Auburn is interesting. I heard yeah, it's 0. I heard the Knicks and Thibodeau really liked Okoro from Auburn. Wouldn't be mad at it. I don't know. The Knicks need to go for a home run pick. I just don't think they can chip away with role players. And I get it. Some of these guys you think are role players now, and then they end up being stars. But I certainly wouldn't touch LaMelo until, I wouldn't trade up for him. Wouldn't trade up in general in this draft. I don't think it's necessary anymore. 23 is fine, but Tony, I don't know why. I don't even know if this guy played. I'm sure he did play for Tibbs, but the first guy I think about when I think about Thibodeau is Tony Snell. That's not a good thing. I think of Derrick Rose and Tony Snell. Yeah, somebody's role needs to be scorer. That is true. They're gonna make some signings, some mid-level signings, and RJ Barrett's gonna end up averaging like 17 this year from his 14. Let's see. Oh, it's LaMelo. Way behind. Or did JB have the in there? Dude's wearing he's wearing the beats still. Like, explain to me. Thank you, son. Take them off. I feel like an old man next to LaMelo Ball, but really, yeah, LiAngelo is struggling right now. LiAngelo is like the entourage. He's like in the entourage. He's definitely a turtle guy at this point. At maybe an E, maybe. LiAngelo definitely had COVID if he wasn't invited. Share the stream, guys. Why not? I know you guys got people watching. Why not? Fuck it. LaMelo's there's so many things. LaMelo looks like a 90s R&B star. I want to see him be good, though. I'm not hating on LaMelo. I want to see him be good. I think he'd be a tremendous heel in the NBA if he's really good. He's clearly never going to be able to play defense. That's a given. He might get some steals. He might get some steals that he's just not trying to move his feet and he's good with his hands, but I want to see him be flashy with the ball. Charlotte. So Charlotte has Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham too. So clearly they are going to probably move one of them. Or LaMelo is just not going to play. He is tall, LaMelo, though. He is very long, but God forbid he tries to play against anyone with that's eaten protein in the last 2 years because he's screwed. He's skinny. Skinny boy. Mike Schmidt saying LaMelo Ball is the best player in the draft. I like him in Charlotte. Not. What did we say? LeVar versus MJ. We're getting it. Let's do it. What's the over-under that he's not happy playing with Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan and him get into a fight? LaMelo's headed straight to the studio after to rap. to just spit his draft day remix. We got the Bulls. The Bulls are wasting no time. What does everyone think about the Bulls pick here? What we got? I don't want them to take Halliburton. Please take Denny. Please take Denny. Halliburton, Billis loves Halliburton, and that's what's bothering me because obviously I don't think the GMs buy into Billis's rankings, but just seeing him at 1, I'm just like, take him before someone else does. Take him before someone else does. I want Halliburton. You know I want Halliburton. I'm going to have to follow Twitter as well tonight. But what do you guys think? Toppin, Denny. I'm gonna go with Denny, I guess. Just because I have no feel for him or the Bulls. I think the Bulls need like a safe player. Here we go. Wow. Okay. I know a lot of teams are high on him. He's got a nice setup. He's in like a hotel lobby somewhere in Florida. It's all good if you're ahead. Don't worry. Once I see the pick is in, I'm going to try not to directly look. And if you guys see any trades or anything, any Woj bombs before me, let me know too. I'll look it up. Just to stay as live as we possibly can, because live is what the kids like these days. Live as hell. Obi Toppin. It's crazy because if the Knicks don't take Obi Toppin and he's there at 8, I want the media to. That is some of the most like rumor BS I've ever heard in my life. The Bulls took Patrick Williams from Florida State. Jart has him. That dude is a 3-and-D guy if you've ever seen one. That guy is athletic. Yeah. First thing they write, athleticism. Pay me to do the graphics, ESPN. I just said athletic before you in live time. That's what this guy has to offer. Florida State kind of produces that though, honestly. Every guy on their team is like 6'8" and can also run and can also kind of hit 3-pointers. Cleveland loved Obi, is what everybody's told me. He went to Dayton, right? So everyone's telling me that Cleveland loves Obi. Is Obi the pick here? Oh yeah, Woj tweeting out the draft picks. That's stupid to me. How I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Why can't he wait until the pick is announced? He works for ESPN. The draft is on ESPN. He's literally promoting himself. Can someone explain that to me? Justin, I'm with you on that. Justin Henderson, I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's got to be Obi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is going here. Honestly, I'm happy about that. Let's get him out of the way from the Knicks. I don't like the Knicks doing what Twitter predicts 3 hours beforehand. Oh my goodness, this interview setup, this 3D interview setup that ESPN has. Yikes. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tristan Thompson's finally off the books, right? Yeah, we're gonna need some more beer soon. That's a fact. Don't worry, we'll be back quickly. The fridge ain't far away. Drummond opted in for $28 million annual. Yeah, that's rough. You need to get someone who could shoot. Obi Toppin is kind of like a legitimate forward, though. He can shoot threes. I wouldn't love to pair him next to Andre Drummond. That's a couple of kind of big bodies, like slower dudes. They're both like athletic, but they're not fast laterally, like what you kind of need in this day and age. So I would Okoro to me is the guy I would take if I was Cleveland. Didn't Kevin Porter Jr. get just arrested too? Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I thought I read Kevin Porter Jr. got some charges recently, maybe a DWI or something. Don't worry, we ain't driving tonight. We're gonna fix this lighting. I hate this lighting right now, but we'll get it together. We'll get one of those circle lights to really illuminate this beautiful skin and bring it out nicely. Halliburton. It's gonna be Halliburton. All right, thank you, Shane. So yeah, if he had guns on him and they're not his, then and he's an NBA player, he'll probably be what was that 1 month? He'll be back. No, I don't know. That's bad news if that's what he had. All right, let's look at Woj. I'm not gonna do this the whole time, but now. Oh, I got it. I saw it. Yeah, dude, I'm the whisper. I'm the Cleveland Cavs whisper. Love that for me. Not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it for our people out there that are real traditionalists. I usually am, but Woj really does piss me off. Can someone explain to me why ESPN allows this? Like, if he didn't work for ESPN, right, and he was an independent journalist, and he had these sources still, this level of reliability with the NBA, completely no problem with him tweeting it, promoting himself. He works for this broadcast. Like, why can't he wait until the friggin' pick is out? Someone friggin' pick. I don't know the last time I said friggin', but I didn't really want to go the full way there. You ever know that? You ever feel that way? You just didn't want to go the full way? All right, so I know who Cleveland's picking. It's shaping up all right. Halliburton's still there. Avdija's still there. Obi's still there. I like to think the Knicks being all over Obi, maybe they wanted someone to hop up to take Obi, hop above them to take Obi. Oh, yeah, Porter's in big trouble then if that's what he did. So, yeah, maybe this pick that I already looked up that I know that they made makes a lot of sense. And that's kind of a shame because I kind of thought Kevin Porter Jr. could be good. Viggs, if Avdija's the pick, then that is exactly why we are live right now recording my reaction. Because if the Israeli guy is the pick, I'll be a broken soldier. I'll be a broken man. If Denny Avdija is the Knicks' 8th pick, with Halliburton on the board, with even Obi Toppin on the board, I will flip out. There will be nothing good happening in this room. All right, here's Silver. All right. As Woj had suggested, Isaac Okoro was being targeted by Cleveland. I like him. I think he's going to be a good player. Yep. Everyone just will. I don't want to be crazy, but like upside wise, I don't know about his like mentality, but like his game upside wise, I could see like Jimmy Butler. But the thing about Jimmy Butler is that makes him great is his mentality. So I'm not going to say he's ever going to be as good as him, but I like how he plays in relation to Jimmy Butler, if that makes sense. Give the stream a like, guys, if you're here. Why not? It takes 1 second. Nobody cares. The government's already tracking your shit anyway, so Don't worry about Mikey giving Mikey hot takes a like. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, fam. But yeah, I like Okoro. Cleveland though, their roster is just. Are you getting excited about anybody on Cleveland? I don't know. Maybe this guy now. Hopefully, you could probably say the same thing about the Knicks. So I'm such a homer. You could probably say the same thing, but I don't know. I don't know what Cleveland has. Like Garland, they took last year. What do we think of Garland? Darius Garland. He looks a little small to me, and he's not that athletic. So I don't know. He was taken like fourth last year, and he barely played. Justin, Howley, Obi still there at 8. You still want Halliburton. Consider we can get Cole or Terry at 23. I'm not going to get mad at either pick. If the Knicks really like Obi and they take him at 8 instead of what everyone suggested, Knicks trying to trade up to take Obi, I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to trust in Obi and see how he plays. I personally, if I was a GM, I would take Halliburton. I think that's what the Knicks need. I think he checks a lot of boxes for them. And I think he'd be a perfect alternative to Frank. And they both offer you similar things, but he has a lot more offensive upside. So I would really like Halliburton. That's my number one. I'm not going to get mad at Obi, though. Like, if you asked me a month ago, I would have said yes, but I'm not going to get upset about him, especially now that the 23rd pick is there, like you said, Justin. So if Obi goes to the Knicks at 8, Cole Anthony could be there at 23. Like you said, Tyrell Terry, who we think is a good shooter. I think he's a good shooter. I think he's one of the better shooters in the draft. I like Aaron Naismith from Vanderbilt as well. He's one of the better shooters in the draft. I want the Knicks to get some more shooters to complement the two guys they already have. I'm not saying get Steve Novak, but get some guys who actually are proficient at shooting 3-pointers in tandem with Barrett and Robinson and let's see how that works, because last year they had just a bunch of athletes. I mean, it wasn't the worst. As sad as it wasn't the worst Knicks team I've seen at all by any stretch. But they just need some more shooting with Barrett and with Robinson to keep everything going. Tyrell Terry is number 8. Kevin O'Connor is Mr. Hot Take. Ever since he had Jason Tatum as the best player in that one draft, he thinks he has Killian Hayes as the number 1 player in the draft too. If he was the GM, ask him if he would take Killian Hayes number 1 overall. He would not have the stones to take Killian Hayes number 1 overall. Yeah, once again, I'm going to start getting on Twitter after the minute I have a chance and just blow up why Woj is allowed to do this. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. It's just ruining ESPN's product, and he works for the company. How is that allowed? Why can't he wait 10 minutes? Watch the screen, tweet the pick. Watch the screen. Nobody on earth doesn't believe in Woj anymore. Like, he's just that worried about Shams getting it first. That's all it is. And then instantly he's not the guy. He's instantly not the guy. Terrible acoustics for the interview for Isaac Okoro. It sounds like he's having a COVID party behind him. A lot of noise, a lot of ruckus behind Okoro there. There's a big party happening after. Hey, not hating. It's a big moment in the guy's life. Stay safe, bro. Anthony Edwards, best rapper in the NBA already? That's a good question. Who's the best rapper in the NBA? Lonzo is – so here's the thing. Lonzo, I'm not saying he's good, right? He's not good. But I've heard worse. Let's put it that way. I've heard a lot worse. More than 12 people. Yeah. This is dangerous for these guys, though. Like, they're on national TV. It sucks that they're like they can't have their whole. They have to hide their whole gang. Listen, I'm all about being safe, but if something like that happens, you're getting drafted in the NBA. You want your squad. You want your squad there. You want your squad there. Depends on what state they're in. I don't even care. I'm not looking up what state these guys are in. I don't care. Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley dropped that one song though. Does Nick? Can you confirm if Cole Beasley has another song of that magnitude? Yeah, what's with the Mountain Dew sponsorship? Who was that again? I missed the player, but I was honestly staring at that enormous amount of Mountain Dew. Chip, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Let's see what we got here with the Hawks. Okay, that's the Knicks were never taking a center, so I just completely ruled this dude out. He's a good player. I haven't zoned in on his face, but he's got the ill Mountain Dew set up. Hopefully, he's not drinking any of that Mountain Dew. If you're the Atlanta Hawks, oh yeah, you have to put Dame. You have to put Dame as number one. The thing about Dame though, I'm not gassing him up. He's picks good beats and he makes good songs, but he's not an amazing rapper. Let's put it that way. I think Dame makes better songs, better music than his rapping ability, his pure rapping ability. Not saying he's trash, but I would put him at number one. I would put Dame at number one now that you bring it up. John Bergquist, shout out to his uncle. Yeah, his uncle was hype. The Hawks. My thing about the Hawks is Trae Young is kind of never going to be able to guard anybody ever, right? Like Steph Curry, there was hope eventually the guy would, and he can hold his own to a certain extent. But like Trae Young, beyond just not being as good already as Steph, obviously, but is he ever going to be able to stop a nosebleed, Trae Young? Do you ever have any confidence in that? If the Knicks make a trash pick or if they trade for Russell Westbrook, we're going to get the JMO out. That's a promise. If they end up drafting like if they end up drafting like a Frederick Weiss tonight or trading for Westbrook, trading for some dead wood for like 4 years, then we're gonna have to get some hard liquor out. But other than that, smooth sailing. I want Halliburton. The Pistons are the team we need to avoid. Try not to spoil the pick. I'm gonna watch this one because if Halliburton's there for 8, then we're smooth sailing. Then the real reaction is gonna be there, and we're gonna try to timestamp the Knicks once the Knicks get on the clock. If you guys know how to do that, even if you're that skilled, trust me, I'll go back and do it myself. But this Knicks, come on, not Halliburton. I'm turning my phone upside down. That's when you know. Halliburton next to RJ will be crispy. I would love that. Then I would sign Davis Bertans. I would make a strong push at Christian Wood, and then everyone's still saying, "Oh, they suck." To me, RJ Barrett is still the guy you're trying to nurture. He's the guy that's going to be the star. If anybody will be the star, it's going to be him. And he averaged 14 points per game at 19 years old. Projection wise, he's going to be averaging in the mid 20s for me, but at his peak. So, not many players in the NBA doing that. So that's a start to a really strong player, and you build off of that. You build off of that. Mad sad right now. This is mad sad right now. Yeah, it is. His mother. Why do they got to make them cry like this? Why can't they just be shaking up Mountain Dew and exploding it all over the place? This kid's family is made in the shade for the next decade. That could have been a real rhyme right there. Made in the shade for the next decade. There we go. We put it together. Am I the best rapper in the NBA now? Am I the best rapper not in the NBA in this live stream? If not, prove me wrong. Hayes went to the Pistons. All right, cool. So the Knicks couldn't even whiff on him. They didn't even whiff on Hayes. And he is dressed like Mr. France right now, as you'd expect. I'm almost out of beer. This is bad, and the Knicks are about to pick. What's the vote? Should I grab a beer fast? I'm grabbing a beer fast, always. We back. We back, and we back. All right, Knicks on the clock. Halliburton, please don't. All right, if it's Obi, I'm like I said, I'm not going to flip out, but I do want a Halliburton. I do want him. The last time I was right, like truly right about the Knicks, had a feeling on a Knicks pick, which I wanted Michael Porter Jr. instead of Kevin Knox. I did. Go check my Instagram or go check the Open Tab Podcast Instagram. JB, let's go. Let's get Halliburton plus 300. Let's listen to all this propaganda about my franchise. All right, here's the thing, right? Real quick. Dolan sucks, right? Dead horse beaten. Everyone hates James Dolan. Got it. No problem. At the very same time, think to yourself, the media hates him so much that he can't even hire somebody completely new and respected, which is what's happening with Leon Rose, and which is what happened with Phil Jackson. At the end of the day, they hired Phil Jackson. You didn't find one person saying, this sucks, this is terrible when it happened. You can't. Go, or maybe a couple, but you can't find many people defiantly saying Phil Jackson was a trash pick, a trash signing. So the Dolan hate has gone too far. Let's go right here. Let's trust in Leon Rose. Try not. Let's go Halliburton. He's got the fun tux on. Dude, if he goes to the Knicks, he's going to be a player. You know it's going to be Obi time. Oh, please, let's get Halliburton here. So many fans will be hyped. Imagine the Knicks just did that, like saw what their fans wanted and did it. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Do it. Imagine they did that. Be that easy. Can't do it though. Got to try to be above everyone else, above the masses. So everyone's on Atlanta. Was it? It was Atlanta. Yeah, that took Patrick Williams at 4. I just don't know how. Like, I don't know how I want to watch Obi Toppin play for the Knicks right away. It's just like, how does unless they could trade Randall in the next week, which is possible. I don't think he's the worst contract in the world. I really don't. He's 25 years old, for God's sakes, and he's getting 20 and 10 in the NBA. He's not immovable. Somebody good will maybe with cap space might take a chance if they're desperate, especially by the trade deadline. Maybe not right now, but by the trade deadline. But I just don't want to see Obi and Randall. Thibodeau's a defensive guy, though. I just don't see them taking Toppin. I think they're going to take Halliburton, possibly Devin Vassell from Florida State. That's my like pick is in decision. The pick is in. That's what I got on my screen. And Jay Williams is talking with his turtleneck. The beauty of tonight, we're going to try to stay on, honestly, until the 23rd pick of the Knicks, or maybe a little bit after that. Why not? They allow us to. Why not? I'm sitting here watching it. Oh, if it's Denny, dude, I'm going to flip out. Then this is why we're live. This is why we're live. I literally might puke on screen. I've had 2, maybe 3 beers. 3 Bud Lights too. So we're just getting cooking here. So the puke would be completely Knicks induced. Let's see. It's gonna be topping. There it is. Ugh! Oh my God. Why is everything just so transparent? Why did I know this that the Knicks like him 3 hours before the draft? Jesus Christ. I mean, the guy seems humble. I'm not freaking out. Like, I'm not freaking out. The guy can play. But I mean, this guy was the best player in college basketball last year, and he was only a sophomore. He played at Dayton. I watched him play in the Maui Invitational. He was the best player in the Maui Invitational, which has a bunch of good teams last year. So here we go. We're getting the Knicks spin going. We're getting it going. We're starting the positivity. And you know why? Because now we got the 23rd pick. That's right, Justin. We got the 23rd pick. If Cole Anthony is the pick at 23, Jay Lewis has him at, I mean, Jay Lewis, Jay Billis has Cole Anthony as the 5th best player available. I saw mocks with this guy falling to the 20s. So let's go. I'm in on Toppin if we get a good point guard at 23. And you know what? What I was thinking earlier, and this is crazy. Everyone was saying, why did the Knicks want to trade up 4 spots? Here's a thought. What if the Knicks decided to package a Dallas pick? Because Dallas, let's face it, as long as Luka Doncic is alive, Dallas is going to be in the 20s. They're going to be drafting in the 20s. So if the Knicks trade a future Dallas pick and this 23rd pick, and Halliburton falls maybe, or they like Cole Anthony soon, I'm not going all out on against Obi Toppin. I wanted Halliburton. I thought he would be a good pick. I just want the Knicks to address point guard. I want them to address point guard. I don't know if Halliburton's going to be a future Hall of Famer. I don't think that's the case. I think he would have been instant, like, next 5 years of point guard, we have a starter. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for stability at the point guard position. I agree with that. I think in this draft, that's the one position. If you're playing the whole draft strategy thing, and you think Obi Toppin is the best player available, which there's an argument to be made. I mean, clearly last season in college basketball, if you watched, Obi Toppin was a step above Halliburton is just a player. Like, Obi Toppin was the guy in his whole conference. Halliburton was just like a really nice athlete and prospect. I still wanted Halliburton. Don't get me wrong. That's because I wanted point guard figured out. I wanted it leveled out for the Knicks. This guy seems so humble. This dude seems really humble, man. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, I'm judging just based on the reaction. I'm not an idiot. She's pointing to the hat. His mom, it looks like his mom is pointing to the hat. Dude, his mom is so hyped. He's a Knick. I'm changing my whole tone. When the mom is this hyped for him to be a Knick, he cannot fail. He's from New York. Okay. If the guy's from New York, he wants to rep New York. Dude, just based on the interview, I don't know you could have just rattled me that quickly and changed my opinion on the pick quick enough in an interview. And that's not because I'm a Knick homer. It might be a little bit. But that dude, his mom wants him to be a Knick. She's pointing at the hat without her son saying anything. He's crying hysterically. He's from New York, which means he knows what it means to be a Knick. You could be from New York and not know what it means to be a net. But if you're from New York, if you go to the Knicks in the top 10, you know what that means. You cannot stop. That's why I always have a problem when you draft somebody from Yugoslavia, which doesn't even exist anymore, but just Guam. The guy could be from Guam, right? If you draft somebody from far away into the Knicks, right? They show up and they treat it like it's FC Guggenheim or just a random soccer team. That's the way it's treated. If you're from New York, or even if you're from America, which helps a little bit because you know the history of the Knicks and the pressure that comes with it. But if you're from New York and you grew up a slight Knicks fan, you know what you have to do if you're taken in the top 10. So I'm just based on that interview, I'm happy with the interview. He looks like a character guy. Looks like someone who's going to ball out as hard as he can for the Knicks. The question is there going to be someone after? Is there going to be someone after him that's going to end up being like a star? That's my question. Is there going to be someone taking in the next 3 picks that's going to be indisputably a star, like Halliburton? Because if it's Halliburton, so let's timestamp this. If Halliburton is the guy who in 3 years from now we're like, damn, the Knicks really whiffed, and we all knew it on draft night they should have taken Halliburton, then we can revisit that and shit on the Knicks for that. However, if not, like, let's see if it'll be like it's the 8th pick. So it's not like these guys that are left over are guaranteed stars. 7 teams passed on them. So let's give Obi Toppin a chance. He was indisputably the best player in college basketball last year. Voted on by the AP. I just figured that out all by myself by reading the ESPN machine. So there you go. Pool table is a flex. Absolutely. So I'm gonna try to just chill out. They're going on a decent clip tonight, which you love to see. Wizards pick is in. And they took Denny. Dude, if I'm the Wizards, I think I would just be terrified to be a Wizards fan right now. That's not the team I would be looking forward to being a fan of. So, yeah, you go Mitchell Robinson, you go Obi Toppin, try to find a way to trade Julius Randle. I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. People act like Julius Randle is like Joakim Noah. He's not. The guy is 25 years old. He got 20 and 10 last year. Okay, maybe he's not, the key to winning, but he can help some really good teams. Guys, let's share the stream. Just do me a favor, text one of your boys to jump in. Say, yo, check out the stream. Why not? If not, we'll watch it back. We'll watch it back tomorrow. But the promotional skills. We decided to do this at the last second, so we're gonna need some help. But Denny looks like Omri Caspi, the last Israeli player I've seen highlights of. He looks like Omri Caspi. Not a good thing. Denny Avdia is how you say it. Avdia. Youngest player to ever play for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That's a good stat right there, because I think Maccabi Tel Aviv is like one of the top teams in EuroLeague, in Eurobasket, whatever it's called. Cole Anthony, Jay Billis is clearly not somebody who reads other people's mocks either. You'll love to see it. He just puts his guys out there because he knows he's watching college basketball every day. He doesn't need to listen to anybody else. That's what I'm talking about from Jay Billis. Huge Jay Billis supporter here. He had Caspi had a sick highlight package. He was dunking on fools. Oh, I just saw Advija do it too. You know who I'm also seeing from these highlights? We're just gonna do quick comp. Danilo Gallinari. That's a good player right there. If he ends up being Gallinari, but he reminds me of Danilo, just from that highlight package. He's got some swag too with the glasses. The European guys just slaughter the American guys in like fashion. Let's be honest. Just overstating it with some of the over flowery suits sometimes. Like, you're getting drafted, son. Wear the flowery suit on the way to the game in a month. The Prince of Tel Aviv is how this kid's been described. That is going to be a tough. Now the entire world is going to run with that Prince of Tel Aviv thing. If Cole Anthony falls to 23 and the Knicks get him, then I'm absolutely elated. I want to see who they get at 23. That's what's going to be our line of demarcation. I don't know this lady interviewing tonight for ESPN, but I just don't like the setup that they're in. Two 3D Avengers talking to people. Top shooter, Naismith. The Knicks could still trade up. They could still trade up. I love the fact that they got the Mavs picks. I wouldn't mind moving them up. If you really like, but I don't know. Do you really like any of these points? If Halliburton falls another 2 picks, why not? Mavs first, and the 23rd pick for Halliburton. Why the hell not? We're gonna start looking at Woj now, though. My phone is blowing up about this Knicks pick. Shout out to Uncle Rob and Ryan watching the stream. Thanks, guys. We're going to start doing this for any event that I feel necessary because why not? I'm literally just putting a camera in front of me. Nothing special going on here. Just some Bud Lights and some NBA draft and another year of Knicks despair and sitting here hoping and waiting for something good to happen to the Knicks. I mean, like, I'm not out on Toppin. Like, people are, it's so ignorant. And I learned this from being a Giants fan. And you can say, oh, Daniel Jones isn't that great. I was one of those idiots just freaking out when they picked him. Just freaking out. Did I know everything about Daniel Jones? No. Had I watched him play at Duke? No. Did I know that he didn't have anybody else on his team whatsoever, and that's why like he wasn't highly regarded? No. So it's just like chill out. Obi Toppin is kind of a proven product. Like he's good at basketball. He was the best player in college basketball last year. And he was a sophomore, I believe. Or maybe like a redshirt sophomore or something like that. Either way, he's not a senior. He's not a 4-year player at Dayton. He's got some upside. I saw some Amari Stoudemire comps, which, by the way, Knicks fans, if you get 75% of Amari Stoudemire, you're not that upset. Let's be honest. If you get 75% of when Amari Stoudemire was drafted, that's not an awful pick. At 8, that's not an awful pick. It'll be very hard in this draft for you to, especially when you have 23. So like 23 is the swing pick. If they go big man at 23 or like Euro guy that we've never seen, I'm going to be upset because they need to get someone with some upside at point guard at 23 that we might see play this year that can shoot the ball a little bit. Yeah, Bergquist. If RJ Hampton falls, I'm fully in on him as well. I'm a huge fan of him, and the way it's looking, he might. Huge Kiro Lewis Jr. fan too. The Knicks worked him out heavily, I heard. So there's plenty of. If you're being realistic and logical here, if the Knicks brass loved Obi Toppin, fine. We won't know until we see them play, right? And now you have the 23rd pick. They must know there's a point guard that's going to be there that they like, and then let's hope that's why they moved up. Let's wait and see. Oh my goodness! The Suns took Jalen Smith. All right, that's the worst pick of the draft so far. To me, that's the worst pick of the draft so far. He's not trash, but like he's a little stiff to me. To me, he moves a little bit stiff as a big man. Jalen Smith went to Maryland. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's more athletic than anyone in NC. Like he's athletic as hell, but not that crazy to me. Like he's not coordinated. He's one of these big guys who can run around and jump through the moon and all that, and he's strong and all that. But when it comes to like coordination and making a move and stuff like that, and shooting and being smooth with the ball, I don't like him at 9 for the Suns. I think it's a trash pick, or 10. Excuse me. I think it's a trash pick. That's my least favorite pick of the draft so far. Patrick Williams. I don't hate that pick, to be honest with you. The other, what's my other? Denny. Like, I'm not in on Denny. Poor man's Dwight. I mean, to me, very poor man's Dwight. Just because he has that big shoulder frame. If you watch him play, like, he's very stiff. Like, he could shoot a set three, though, which makes him a little bit more useful. But, like, I'm not big on him. I think he was just more athletic than everyone. A lot of his buckets are just like putbacks. Or like no one checks him on a pick and pop from like 40 feet away. I think his nickname was Sticks. You can correct me on that. So Halliburton, as much as we loved him, Knicks fans, as much as we saw him, he might not even make it out of the top 5. He's there at 11. And everyone's going to be like, if he goes to San Antonio, everyone's going to say literally Hall of Famer instantly. Yeah, Jared, this is the team that took Cam Johnson in the lottery last year. Don't worry, Jared. They got Chris Paul now. They're going to instantly become a championship contender. And I love Chris Paul, but honestly, he's the only one on that team that's ever even sniffed a playoff series, and he's going to get them to do something while he's 38. Sorry. Yeah, his shoulders are the Dwight width. They have that width. If I'm guessing, the Spurs are going to take Devin Vassell from Florida State. Or Vassell. I forget. I don't know how you say it. Vassell, probably. Like Sam Cassell. Let's tweet out the stream again. I think I just dropped a random YouTube link before. We're doing too many things at once here. Don't want to keep the people waiting and just look at my phone. That's extremely rude, especially during a live stream, All caps gets the people going, That's why we do it. If you don't like it, unfollow. We live talking Knicks. Okay. Quite the setup they got here for ESPN, with the 4 guys just sitting at their own individual cubicles. It's just so funny how they have to, like, how the adaptation has to happen for TV. Halliburton would just be a Spurs pick, and then everyone's just going to love him right away because he's a Spur. That's the way it goes. And then he becomes great because he was drafted to the Spurs and not the Knicks. And then people act as if the Knicks just took Tyrese Halliburton. He would be as good as if he went to the Spurs. Just endless cycle. Rest of my life. I don't get the Jalen Smith pick. You can't defend. Jared, you can't defend the Jalen Smith pick to me. Tell Chad to join the chat and come defend the Jalen Smith pick if he likes it. Justin, those first 8 games are pickup games. Yeah, I'm not really going off of any bubble things I saw, to be honest with you. I already knew what the league looked like before the whole bubble started, and not much changed after that. I'm not judge just because you got hot when all of a sudden you thought people were watching you and you had a 6-month break doesn't make me. What happened the first 40 games? What are you going to do when you actually have to play a full 72 this year? Like, but the Knicks, I'm not upset yet. I need to see Toppin, and trust me, I'll be watching it. Yeah, Justin, I haven't like I said, I haven't followed, but that Vassell just seems like a Spurs pick. There's so many point guards that I don't dislike. Like if Tyrese Maxey from Kentucky falls to the Knicks at 23 and they got Toppin too, like that's a great draft. great draft if they could get both of them. There's so many point guards still on the board. Think about it. Halliburton hasn't been taken yet, and he was probably a lot of people's first point guard on the board besides LaMelo, if you depending on if you even like LaMelo. Like John Bergquist said earlier, R.J. Hampton, he's available. Why wouldn't the Knicks hop on him at 23 if he's the last guy left? There's so many good scoring point guards left that I'm not upset about if they take. Yeah, Vassell. I mean, good pick. Why not? Spurs love a 3-and-D guy they can develop. You know he's instantly going to start getting Kawhi. People are going to start talking about Kawhi Leonard about this guy for no reason, just because they love to compare. Who we got next? Brooklyn picks at 19. We got any net fans in the stream? Let me know. Let me know if you need to let me know individually. You can let me know. But who do you want with the 19th pick? You think the Kings go PG, Justin? When they got Fox? Don't they have De'Aaron Fox? Or you think they need someone to back a backup? Thought Fox was what does the Fox? I thought he was good. I like him. Or is Brooklyn go point guard? You're saying? Oh my God! Did he just say he hasn't seen this type of versatility and proficiency since Anthony Davis? Is that what Mike Schmitz just said on TV? This guy looks good, and I'm not even joking. Like I like the looks of this player. Did he just compare him to Anthony Davis though, and he got taken 11th? Shut up, dude. Such a reach. I just said he was going to get compared to Kawhi Leonard, and I thought that was silly. But I just said it because he was like a two-way player by the Spurs. Mike Schmitz, who's like the number one draft guy, just was like, I haven't seen his versatility since Anthony Davis. What? Someone explain to me how that Devin Vassell is. Is it going to be Halliburton to Sacramento? If it's Halliburton to the Kings, I don't get that. I honestly don't. I mean, he's long and he can play the two a little bit, but just like hate taking, or maybe they're gonna move De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, this kid's gonna be good. There's no doubt. The Spurs are gonna be the Spurs are building like a sneaky young core that nobody is paying attention to with like Lonnie Walker and him, and watch them be good and watch them the Spurs be really good this season out of nowhere. Best suit of the night. I got Denny. I thought Denny looked the sharpest, to be honest with you. I don't get the Kings taking Halliburton. I just don't. I have a friend just flipping out about this. He's just flipping out that the Knicks didn't take Tyrese Hal. Like they didn't get this guy. Like this guy he's a good player. He's gonna be a good player. I'm not acting sour grapes. I wanted the Knicks to take him. Okay. But it's not like, oh my goodness, I am right and the Knicks are wrong. Like you can't think that way. You just can't be like, you have to wait and see him play. If you watch college basketball last year, there's no one on earth that would have said, uh, that Tyrese Halliburton was a better player than Obi Toppin. There's no way you can say that if you watch them play college basketball. So all you're doing is projecting and expecting him to get better and expecting him to play the same way he did at Iowa State in the NBA. Like, relax, okay? Obi Toppin was the star of college basketball last year. There's a big difference between a guy you're expecting to get better and a guy you think is already, solid. I think Obi Toppin will be getting 20 minutes right away and contributing like 12 and 8 minimum, possibly more. A CP3. Some of these like a CP3 Harden sort of dynamic. Jesus Christ, Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, like, piss off. They're good luck trying to do that with Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. Like, you're just losing right away, thinking that those two guys have anywhere near the same amount of talent. I know what you guys are saying, just with the whole like two guard, but like whoever wrote that that comparison, just jeez, pick a different profession. Sorry, bruh. Kira Lewis, Tyrese Maxey, RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony. Any of these guys are there. Justin said Tyrell Terry, I wouldn't hate. If Naismith is the pick, Naismith, whatever, from Vanderbilt, wouldn't hate that pick either. He could shoot it. I need them to get somebody who could shoot it that's a guard. The person that they draft has to be a guard and has to be someone who can put the ball in the basket from 3-point range. I'm sick of they don't need another bricklayer. I do think Barrett will get better shooting the three, and he's not as bad as some people think, but his skill is still getting to the basket. They need someone whose main skill is shooting the three, and they need him in the lineup right away. All right, I'm going to pee real fast. All right, I'm taking out the AirPods. All right. We back. Putting up some numbers tonight. Like I said, we off tonight. Wow, Halliburton had this ready. Once again, no problem with the Black Lives Matter lining, but now you're distracting me with the rest of the suit. It would have been much classier. You give me a simple suit and then you flash the lining. That's just my opinion, my personal opinion. Now you took away from it by making the suit super chill, and then now you have this good message or whatever in the inside of your blazer. It's whack. Only ESPN would put some Zion highlights in the middle of the draft right now. Like the pick is in for New Orleans, and they're showing me Zion highlights. The Pelicans are going to be good, though. I mean, let's be honest. Ingram's a restricted free agent, though, right? So obviously, I would love the Knicks to maybe make a run at Ingram, but he's never gonna. You're gonna have to make a ridiculous offer for him. Mike Schmidt's kind of ruined it for me when he compared Devin Vassell to Anthony Davis. I really thought he was like, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he knows, but I'm not buying it. I'm really not buying the Anthony Davis, Devin Vassell versatility combo. Who do we want right now, Knicks fans? Sitting on the board. I want Cole Anthony. I've been a Cole Anthony guy I wanted him at 8, low key. But if he falls to them at 23, if the Brooklyn Nets take Cole Anthony at 19, I'm going to be upset. I am going to be upset because I've been wanting Cole Anthony for months. I can't be fake. I wanted Cole Anthony. So if Brooklyn takes him, I'm going to be upset. Cole Anthony, Philly, I can see him taking at 21. Maybe. I don't know. It just depends on who these organizations like at the point guard position. I don't know what they like internally. Okay, there you go. See, Lewis Jr. went to New Orleans. I thought Kira Lewis Jr. I thought Nikhil Alexander Walker was a good player too, and he's a point guard. That's why that goes to show you, like in NBA nowadays, you really don't need to focus on like, oh, we need a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward. You need just. Let's fix the hair real quick, make sure we're all right. You need versatility. You just need a bunch of athletes on the court who could do a bunch of different things. And this guy's fast, Kira Lewis Jr. I wouldn't have minded him at 23 either. So the thing is, there's not a lot of big men left on the board here, and Boston needs a big man, right? Does Boston not need to take a big man here? Maybe Sadiq Bey for Boston. I like him from Villanova. They can't take another guard. Like maybe RJ Hampton they take, but commercials for the Birds. Imagine they made this pay-per-view. That would be smart. Then everyone would need Woj to tweet it out. Yeah, there's been no trades. All the BS like James Harden, Westbrook stuff that just started brewing up into my face and just getting me nauseous. We haven't had one Woj. The Knicks have won today by making a trade up. Let's be honest. Oh, no, actually, the Sixers win for trading Horford. Let's be honest. Sixers getting rid of Horford and getting Danny Green. Like, it's not like Danny Green isn't going to help you. Danny Green wins a title, has multiple championships. So yeah, Boston. I'm going to say they're going to take Precious Achua. That's my prediction for Boston. I'm sure Woj already tweeted it out. But let me know what you guys. Shams got this one. I want Cole Anthony to the Knicks at 23. That will make me happy, and then I could sleep knowing that the Knicks at least have someone with some potential at point guard to blow up. Because I'm not flipping out about Toppin. It's just very silly to think like Toppin stinks. Like I don't think he stinks. I think he could possibly be just like a stable player with maybe higher upside than I think. But I think he's going to just be like a 15 and 10 guy at the minimum for a while. And from what I saw in the interview and from what I saw, his family getting drafted by the Knicks meant something, and that to me is what I'm looking for as a Knicks fan. You could say, you could think it means like blah blah blah. It's sentimental. You have the 8th pick. You're not going to find LeBron James with the 8th pick most of the time. You're just not. So people just act like, oh, I'm a draft expert because I can look back at the 2018 draft and say, oh, we should have taken this guy instead of this guy. No, you're not smart for saying that. It's all hindsight. All hindsight. Nobody knows exactly what you're saying or exactly what these players are going to do. I'm a fan of Toppin at Dayton. I thought he was the best player in college basketball last year. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we needed a point guard. We should have taken Halliburton. It's the worst pick in the world. No, it's not. Toppin's a better player than him right now. Right now. Is Halliburton going to be possibly a role player that will work for the next 15 years for whatever team he plays for? Sure, maybe. But you can't take a pass on a guy like Toppin if your scouts are really all in on him. And I'm trusting in the new regime. You cannot just be like, oh, Dolan's involved. Dolan had no say in the Knicks taking Obi Toppin. I guarantee you, James Dolan was not sitting there saying, we really need to take Obi here. We really need to grab Obi. James Dolan had nothing to do with that pick. It's all Leon Rose and Steve Perry. And now we wait and see if Obi Toppin's a good player. That's how it goes. The rest of the roster, let's try to move Randall. If you can't, the guy isn't trash either. Like, you put enough decent players out there, eventually you start winning games. If Toppin is solid, Randall is good, Barrett is going to get better, Robinson is good. Like, you're starting to put players out there that are indisputably decent. So, and they're young, and they're not making a lot of money, which is key. I wouldn't mind Tyrese Maxey falling to the Knicks either. He's really quick, and they have him listed as a shooting guard. I think he's a point guard. I think he is. Hampton wouldn't be. I wouldn't mind Hampton either. I really wouldn't. New York Knicks, indisputably decent. We're trying to get there. That's what I'm trying to strive towards. I'm trying to strive towards the Knicks being indisputably decent. Once they can get there, then I could sleep. I'll be all right. Just stop being an indisputable joke is what the question is. Cole Anthony. There's been no trades though, and this is very upsetting. Celtics pick. They took Neesmith. So the Celtics get another good. You know what happens. The Celtics are similar to the Spurs in my eyes, where it's like anybody they pick, the media is just going to be like, really like this pick, really good pick, just because they like the people that run the team. You have to think about that sometimes. Like if these insiders are like, really like this move. They always say that about the Brooklyn Nets. They always say that about the Boston Celtics. They always say that about certain teams where the ownership is just like up their ass. But not any other team. Like you don't hear them saying it about many other teams. Listen, when it's that time of the night, we're several Bud Lights deep. We just want the Knicks to pick the 23rd pick. And thank God they picked I wasn't going to stay on for the 27th, but the 23rd I'll stay up for. Why not? But the 27th, I'm not going to stay live for if they had it. Orlando is up. So whoever they take is essentially going into an abyss forever. They'll never make it out. Some net fans saying RJ Hampton to the Nets. He would be good. He'd be good there. He'd be great for picking Kyrie's dry cleaning up every other week. RJ Hampton would be amazing. He would develop great picking up Kyrie's dry cleaning at the dry cleaners every other day. And also making sure that his raisin brand doesn't have any raisins in it. That's what RJ Hampton would do in Brooklyn for Kyrie Irving. I mean, Orlando, could you not care less? Could you seriously not care less about an organization than the Orlando Magic? Name me a franchise in the four major sports that you care about less. Honestly, I would like to not include hockey, but we got hockey fans out there. Name me a franchise that means less to you than the Orlando Magic. Minnesota traded Rubio 25 and 28 for the 17th. Okay, so they got rid of Rubio. I don't know if that really does. I've never been a big Rubio guy. It doesn't really do anything. They got rid of Rubio. Maybe they signed someone now. Kevin Love, welcome to Cleveland. Isaac Okoro. Ja Morant shouting out Obi Toppin. You know, I'm just going to completely spend the rest of my next 2 days watching Obi Toppin highlights, getting jacked up about this guy. Just getting excited about this guy who was the AP Player of the Year last year in college basketball. How could you not get excited about that type of talent? I mean, they're dragging this out now. Come on. Woj could probably end the draft in the next 15 minutes if he wanted to on Twitter. Jersey Shore is still going on. This is absurd. They actually look like Madame Tussauds Wax Museum now. They're all just taping their faces back further and further. Good for them though. Still going. Wait, there's another Die Hard coming out? Oh no, never mind. Bruce Willis just did an advance auto. This is great. Me just dialoguing the commercials I see. I thought that was an actual Die Hard ad, so I had to get excited for a second. But what do you guys think? Yeah, exactly. You care about the Jersey Shore more than the Magic. Sick. We got a sick buddy in the chat. Crappy videos. You gone. Say whatever you want to say, but maybe make it a little more creative than that. That's all I'm saying. Crappy videos. Do whatever you got to do. Anyway. What do you guys think about this Knicks 23rd pick? I'm about to go. I think I'm about to. Let's see. Minnesota is acquiring. Okay, we saw Justin reported that. Detroit is targeting Isaiah Stewart with the 16th pick. Hopefully Randall is getting traded, but people are so like, oh my god, people are so overreactive to positions. Like I said, like Obi Toppin and Julius Randle can both play 20 minutes, like plenty of minutes a night. They act like Randall and Toppin are going to be on the floor together the whole time. It's not the case. Just relax. $15 is Cole. Did a Magic take Cole Anthony? Let's see. It's just unbelievable the rapidness of Woj's tweets. I have to go back. Yeah, Cole Anthony, 15. Good pick for Orlando. It's a good pick. All right. So I think we're gonna end off. I think I'm gonna pop off because at the end of the day, I wanted to see Cole Anthony picked. I don't think this 23rd pick is worth jumping up and down for. I know 16 is Isaiah Stewart. Spike Lee is fucking at Cole Anthony's house. Yeah, like the Knicks couldn't take the guy where Spike Lee was at his house. Just think about that. I've been wanting him there for God knows how long. And he's going to what team just took him again? Oh, the Orlando Magic, the team I just said is the most irrelevant franchise in all of sports. And the Knicks could have taken him. Once again, Obi Toppin is probably better, but Cole Anthony, this is a guy with potential, man. This is a guy I'm a big Cole Anthony fan. So I'm happy he went to Orlando because now I have absolutely no reason to dislike him or get upset. The 23rd pick, I'm telling you right now, before I sign off, we're gonna sign off, and after this Portland pick, I'm gonna hop off. We're gonna do a whole reaction video tomorrow, a whole wrap up video. We're also gonna cut up this video and just take out the good parts, just so the people that couldn't join us live can watch. But as we stand right here, I want Isaiah Stewart is going 16. I think the Pistons own this pick, and they're gonna take him. I would take Maxey. I would take Hampton. I would take Nico Mannion at 23. Like Nico Mannion from Arizona. Don't sleep on that name. I don't know if the Knicks, once again, I haven't been paying attention to the Knicks ins and outs. I'm going on with my own feel from guys that I've seen play in college. I want a guard. I want a point guard. I want a complete point guard that can shoot the ball, that can pass the ball, that can bring it up, that has offensive skills. That's what I want with 23. I want some upside. Once again, Cole Anthony's crying now too. These guys are going hard on the emotions tonight. Maybe it's because they're on they're at home with all their families, but damn, he's got a huge family. His dad's right there, Greg Anthony, former Knick. He's crying as well. So you know what? There's really nice, some really good moments tonight. But at the end of the day, some really bad suits. And the Knicks took Obi Toppin. Do we like it? If I'm giving it a grade, I'm giving it a B, straight B. That's it. I think Halliburton, I would have given a B plus. So it's like, how do I flip out if the difference is the B to the B plus? If you told me I got a B instead of a B plus, am I upset? Yes. Am I flipping out? No. That's really the status. I would have taken Halliburton, but like I said, Toppin is clearly the better player. So tomorrow we're gonna drop some more videos. We're gonna try to do some more live streams as well in the future. We're gonna cut up this video as well. So stay tuned to the channel. Thank you to everyone who joined me. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to John Bergquist. Shout out to Jartasm. Shout out to everybody who is joining the stream and watching. There's no reason for me to stick around for the 19th through 24th pick. There's been no trades, 0 important trades of note during this draft, which is very unusual. But I guess that's possibly because of the way, the timing works and the way the draft works this year. Who knows? We'll see. Thank you guys for showing up, and we'll be back soon. Peace.